Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I want to thank the organizers. It's a pleasure to be here today. The title of my talk is Mobile Games and Big Data, a primer. So I will focus on explaining the paradigm shift that is happening in video game industry because of the data and because of the machine learning. First of all, I want to summarize very briefly my background. So I start my career, my background is theoretical physics. I started my career at CERN in the particle physics accelerator based in Geneva as a research about the string theory. This was 2005, 2006. And since then, I decided to move to use my mathematical background in something more applied. So I moved to data science when the term data science didn't exist yet. And since then, I've been working both in academia and industry, working as a data scientist, predicting with data of energy, satellite data, insurances, retailing, consumer behavioral data, etc. Since 3 years ago that I moved to the video game industry, this is when I founded YOKOZUNA Data in the corner. So it was 3 years ago. And YOKOZUNA Data focuses on predicting individual player behavior. So based on the data that the players generate, we focus on predict players' reactions in order to provide game developers with recommendations towards a player-focused, data-driven development. From the standpoint of a veteran data scientist, it's very interesting. When you move to video game industry, because of the lack of personalization. There is no personalization whatsoever. Every single player is treated equally. So this means that game content or marketing campaigns are not adapted to fit individual interests or individual play style. So this differs a lot with the current experience that we are having every day. So, for instance, everybody knows, Google provides a very highly customized services. The same search, if I do, or if another person, you do, is going to produce different results based on your previous searches, the videos that you watched, or, for instance, the translation that you did, or even your emails. So Spotify, for instance, provides with individual playlists, or Amazon and Netflix, will give you recommendations about products that likely will be of your interest. So, but I'm here, to talk about video games. So, video games are complex, hard, and interesting problems. So this is very special because the data generated by players makes an exceptional data set to study human behavior. So we are able to capture very nuanced behaviors with this kind of data. So this even goes beyond game outcomes. So we are able to even study, human behavioral challenges as motivation, strategic thinking, or even addictions. So there have been many milestones in the video game industry since the appearance back in the 60s or the 70s. So since the appearance of arcade games or the first creation of consoles or mobiles, or mobile consoles, so portable consoles, portable devices. But probably one of the latest milestones and revolution that happened in the game industry comes with the hand of the mobile phones. So since the emergence of mobile games, there have been two main milestones. Like first, they were the first online games where we can store and record massive data. And second, they were created a new type of gamers, different from classical gamers, that is the casual gamer. And what I believe from YOKOZUNA Data, we believe, is that the next milestones in video game data comes from making use of those data. So first, to be able to provide a player-focused, data-driven game development, And second, we should move forward to the ultimate goal, that is the personalization of the game experience. So in this way, there will be not only one virtual world, we'll provide plenty of virtual worlds, as much as many players there will be. So what we are doing from YOKOZUNA data is pushing the game data science frontier to a new limit. We are providing a state-of-the-art machine learning engine that predicts individual player behavior. So we are helping companies, mobile game companies, and also PC or console companies to be able to understand the player needs, to be able to improve the game development. And how we are doing this, I mean, one of the fundamental pillars of our work is based on interdisciplinarity. So what we are doing is that we are not restricted to only one method. So we are using robust scientific models that has been used in, I mean, during time, I mean, in scientific fields or in other industries, to solve the game data science challenges. So for instance, we are using epidemiological models to study virality on games, or we are using medical research algorithms to predict, when a player is going to quit a game, and of course, using other, artificial intelligence-based algorithms. So we record everything that you do with your game. So every single click is tracked and stored in the database. So this is the kind of data that we use, to predict players' reactions. So since every login, every single action that you do, every item that you select, and then you don't purchase any virtual, every virtual purchases, the playtime, and how many hours are you playing your game? When are you playing your game? Every social interaction, friends that they are not friends anymore, or every progression that you made in the game. All this is stored and used to fit the machine learning models that we use. We basically use two main fields, two main kind of algorithms, The first one is ensemble learning. So ensemble learning, instead of using one only machine learning model, we use a cloud of them in order to provide very accurate results. And of course, we are using deep learning. So as I'm sure, all of you know, in a deeper or less degree, it's an artificial network-based algorithm that rather than having, only one layer, has many of them. This allows a highly non-linearity of the information of the data that it receives and produce very accurate results. So these two methods that we are using for two reasons. The first one is, of course, because provide very accurate results. And the second one is because we are able to scale to petabytes of data. That is the case of mobile, of video game data and mobile game data. So one example of the kind of predictions that we do is item recommendation systems. So similarly to what Amazon or Netflix does, we know what is the next virtual item or even actual item that you want to purchase next, meanwhile you are playing. So this allows, developers, game developers, and game studios to be able to create actions to try to retain you and continue playing your game. We also are able to predict when are you going to quit. Since the very beginning you join a game, we know which day are you going to quit with highly level of accuracy, until what level are you going to play. Also, how many hours, depending on your play style, it's going to take until you exit the game, and how much money are you going to spend in this particular title. So this is the kind of output that we have, and are computed in our big data infrastructure system. So, for instance, this is how we differ. Three kinds of players. The red one is the one who is less loyal, we can say, who is going to leave the game sooner, and the green one is the one who is going to has a much longer life expectancy. Also, another kind of prediction that we provide in our platform and that we focus is on predicting gacha. I don't know if anyone here knows what gacha is. So gacha is the name comes from the Japanese vending machines, and it came because of the sound when you use it. It's gacha. So the main thing is that you don't know what you are going to obtain. It's a bit related with gambling. So this kind of technique is incorporated into the in many Asian games, and is incorporated in an harmonic way into the game. And what we are providing is a prediction of which kind of gacha is going to fit every individual the best. So in that way, game companies can adequate their strategies to understand better which are the best parameters in terms of the percentage of probability to receive an item, which kind of item, rarity, etc., to adequate the game to their players. Do you have any questions? Thank you for your attention.
There is a question. Could we get a microphone, please?
Hi, it was interesting you were talking about the gacha a bit. And basically, in essence, people are paying a premium for variance in the games, right? Because they enjoy that additional satisfaction. So what does that really say about a person who enjoys paying a premium for variance in gambling, like as in?
Okay.
Do you think this is behavior we should be encouraging?
Well, every player has different. Well, we must be encouraging. Well, this is more an ethic debate, but well, it depends also. It depends on the country. For instance, in the case of Japan that we operate, there is a strong governmental regulation. So in that way, even that we can adapt. The parameters of the gacha at the end, will be fully regulated. So it's true that in Western games it's not like this. So this is where we are entering maybe a more complicated field. Okay, but in the case of Japan, we are safe because it's regulated. However, right now, in most of the game studios, are doing randomly or by intuition of the game developers. The kind of item rarity or the kind of probability of obtaining the item. So in that way, you can understand better, your players, who are the ones who are using gacha, and adequating, the parameters for them.
Okay, so you tailor probabilities based on their play style.
Yes.
So someone could hold a game next to me and complain that he never gets lucky.
No, the rules are fixed, okay? But, you can, understanding your player needs, you can adequate those parameters.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
There's another question here.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. So this is more of, I think, just a question because I'm a gamer. I feel slightly uncomfortable with the fact that there'll be targeted marketing to different gamers, games being by definition competitive on an equal platform. So I'm not like, it is contradictory in some way that you game because you want to compete and you compete because you want to win on a level ground. But when you are targeting a specific set of things to a specific gamer versus the other, are we somehow compromising on that aspect of gaming?
Yeah, what we believe is that there is a space for many kinds of games. So at the beginning, there were only, the classical games, that are, as you said, suddenly, with the appearance of mobiles, the paradigms change, and suddenly, users that will never play a game and suddenly start playing games. So what we believe is that there is room, for a new kind of games that when I start playing, depending on my mood and depending on who I am, I mean, the game is going to be adapted to me. So it means that it's going to be, it's going to provide me fun. That is, at the end, the goal.
So not for multiplayer games, I'm assuming.
It can be as well. It can be. I mean, you can be included in the right group, depending on your play style. So it can be more democratized, not only for those, that they invest a certain time of hours and they are very senior and strong gamers that probably maybe continue with this kind of games, classical games. There will be another kind of games that allows other kind of players to enjoy the same kind of entertainment. Thank you.
I have a question as well. It relates to esports, and that's one of the big trends within gaming, moving to esports. And what are your thoughts on that from a data and analytics points of view? Are there any unique opportunities, challenges there? We might have millions of fans watching as well.
Yes, there is a lot of potential there, and I'm aware. That although they are trying, to use the data, there are still, there is room for improvement in that side. So basically, you must understand much better, the player styles, what your players like the most, what they don't, and trying to make the games much more fun. So that is very important. Not only, of course, the art of the game designers is extremely important, but taking into account, players' needs and what players like is going to maximize the entertainment. That's what we believe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. We have to move on, but thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.